This type of behavior has a really long history with Chinese diplomats. So when Zhou Enlai founded China's diplomatic corps back in 1949, he told them that they had to have a fighting spirit and they had to act like the People's Liberation Army in civilian clothing. And so there's always been this idea that Chinese diplomats had to be tough when they stood up for China's interests. And that's been balanced against the need for China to charm the world and win friends and build its influence in the international system. And sometimes Chinese diplomats have acted more like wolf warriors, and sometimes they've acted more in that kind of charming, outgoing kind of way. And the way that China moves back and forth between those two things is determined by how the international community is responding to China. But even more importantly, it's determined by what's going on at home in Chinese politics. And I think since 2008, but especially in the last few years, Chinese diplomacy has moved back towards that kind of aggressive, assertive posture. And that's partly because China is feeling more confident about its place in the international system after the financial crisis and after the pandemic. And it's partly because Xi Jinping wants to push Chinese diplomats in that way. And you need to kind of layer on top of that, that changed role for China in the international system. You need to layer on top of that changes in Chinese domestic politics, where Xi Jinping is much more central to the political system. So he has abolished term limits. He has led a sweeping anti-corruption campaign that has punished more than 1.5 million officials. He has also insisted that the Communist Party should be much more central to political life in China, much more central to the way that bureaucracies work, and that ideology matters and is important. And he also wants to see a much, much stronger and central place for China in the world. And so if you're an ambitious Chinese diplomat, you're going to look at those signals and you're going to think, wow, okay, I need to be tough. You're also going to think, if I am not tough and if I don't meet those standards that Xi Jinping has set, I might land myself in trouble. You know, it could be bad for me, it could be bad for my family. And so, you know, both from the perspective of wanting to be ambitious and to succeed, and also from the perspective of just wanting to keep yourself out of trouble, there are strong incentives for Chinese diplomats to act tough and kind of adopt this wolf warrior